Hey, welcome back to 20 Minutes or Less. This face is Elliot Morgan, and that face is Joe Beretta. This week, a teenager by the name of Aaron DeVoe has been sentenced to 2 years in prison and the loss of his license for the next 15 years. This sentencing came after he was convicted of motor vehicle homicide. He's the first driver in the state of Massachusetts to face these kinds of charges because motor vehicle homicide is actually legal speak for texting and driving and ultimately killing a father of 3.
That father of 3 was 55-year-old Daniel Bowley. He suffered massive head trauma that led to him spending 18 days in a Boston hospital before eventually passing away. DeVoe, rather than admitting to texting, decided to go all law and order on the cops and plead not guilty. Unfortunately for DeVoe, they have these things called phone records.
DeVoe claims that he had homework on the mind and his last text had been sent in a parking lot. But then the police checked his phone records and saw that he'd sent a text message at 2:34 p.m. and received one at 2:35 p.m. And something else happened at 2:35 p.m.
Oh yeah, DeVoe just happened to swerve into the other lane and hit Daniel Bowley head on at the exact moment. And District Court Judge Stephen Abney said that the maximum sentence for this particular charge, motor vehicle homicide, was carried out to send a message.
David Teeter, the senior director of the Transportation Initiative at the National Safety Council, stated, "People can violate these laws and there really isn't much of a deterrence without examples like this. Clearly, being distracted is an extremely deadly thing that's going on in this country and people need to understand that they just can't do it."
He went on to say, "This is a threat that did not exist just a few years ago and we've never had to understand how being connected to a mobile world was dangerous. Unfortunately, now the way we're beginning to understand the danger of it is by people getting hurt and dying, and that needs to change."
So while I was looking up stuff about this story, I stumbled upon a couple pages that had people claiming to know 18-year-old Aaron DeVoe, and the rage was just palpable. Those claiming to know the guy said that they hated the men responsible for sending him to prison and that it was really the victim's fault because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So obviously, these people are a bunch of extremely hurt and emotional people, and there's no doubt about it. This kid made a mistake, and that mistake is going to cost him 15 years of driving and 2 years of his freaking life, and that just sucks.
And it also sucks for those 3 kids who don't have a father anymore, and it sucks even more for Aaron DeVoe because he's got to live with the fact that he killed another human being. People know that texting and driving is illegal and dangerous, and they do it anyways. Yes, they made an example out of this kid, but they made an example through a fair trial. He didn't have to lie to the police, and he didn't have to text and drive. It was a stupid mistake, and now he's got to pay for it. But hopefully, people do stop texting and driving as a result of this.
So at the risk of sounding like a warning or a PSA, hey, don't freaking text and drive. Yes, it's more dangerous than drinking and driving. Yes, you could kill someone, and yes, you could ruin your life and or someone else's. I know I'm guilty of texting and driving. Stopping myself from doing it is harder than it sounds because I like my iPhone a lot, probably too much.
Question time, do you guys think the punishment fits the crime? Let us know in the comments down below. And when you're done, do the likey and subscribey thing, and then please hit this annotation or go to SourceFed.com to check out the 5 stories of our day or anything that we've ever done.
And don't forget, you can always send us photos of yourselves with SourceFed posters and SourceFed gear, and we'll take those pictures and we'll put them up on our wall and we'll look at them. It'll be great. I'm Elliot Morgan.
I'm Joe Beretta.
I'll see you tomorrow.